Hello guys, so today talk about why the Democrats may not be doing as well as people would think. Yeah. So early vote is a lot of people do early vote. Most people vote on day. Those are the people who will really decide who is gonna win the election. Those are the people who come out and but the early votes typically tend to favor the Democratic Party in most states. Because Democrats typically come out and vote early. That's how it is in America. People and Democrats come out early to vote early. They do not come out later. A lot of them do, but they do not come out later and vote later. So this is national for first-time voter for a registered party. This is of registered voters. There's frequent voters. Here, Republicans have gained 3 points from 2020. Okay? Democrats have lost 1% of the vote. Okay? Unaffiliated lost 3%. It really depends on the percentage. Okay? But early voting is down, like around 70%. Okay? Barely above what it was in 2022. We have infrequent voters, which Republicans have gained with them, and super voters, which Republicans have gained with them. So on this map, Republicans have gained in all groups here. Okay? We have race here, and this is, African American black people here. Most of them are voting unaffiliated, but it's still only a small percentage of people in that community are voting Republican. Only 1% of the registered voters. But this is, of course, now let's go to the modeled party. It says in the early voting, it is basically similar to how it was here. And according to this, Democrats have gained percentage-wise in the early votes. Asians. Here. Democrats have lost 3 points of Asians, and the Republicans have gained 5 points of Asians in the early vote. Hispanic here. Republicans have gained 5 points with Hispanics in the early vote. This is, of course, the early vote. And Republicans are doing worse among that demographic. Democrats are doing worse by 4 points. In the early vote, imagine the general election where most people turn out. Caucasian with our white people. Republicans have actually got lost in the early vote with white people. Well, Democrats have actually gained, but it's mostly the college-educated people that come out in the early vote and the mail-in vote. Okay? So actually, the Republicans have gained with Asians and Hispanics, and this is very, very bad for Democrats, for those two demographics. And other races like include, Native Americans and Asian Pacific Islanders, Republicans have gained 5 points with these groups of people. Okay? And of course, multi-racial people will be included in this as well. But Republicans have gained by 5 percentage points here. And the full frequency here, super voters, are now becoming here. First time voters, not many people are voting the first time. My first time voting was in it was 2020. No, I think it was 2018. Yeah, it was 2020. 2020 was the first time I voted. But yeah, same thing with every group of people. Vote the frequency is the way it is. And gender, here, more females are turning out in early votes, which women tend to vote more Democrat. Among females here, African American, this is African, we go to every race here. So, among African American females, it has basically declined. Among Asians, it has increased. Here, among Caucasians, with the whites, it has decreased. Because, more and more Trump voters, which are mostly white, are not voting Oi. Here, Hispanic, here, you see a 7-point trend towards the Republican Party from 2020. Okay, 2018, again, that's because not many people voted Oi. Voting Oi was not really a thing. And you also have to think about, Cuban, groups like Cubans. Okay, other uncoded, and you see a 4-point trend towards the Republicans. Here. And now let's look at males of all races. Males are trending towards the Republicans. Males are voting more Republican than women. Yeah. You see another 5 points here. Hispanic males, 6-point swing towards the Republican Party. Caucasians, a 3-point swing towards the Democratic Party. Of course, mostly because of the distrust among Trump voters coming out. And, here, Asian men, 4 points towards the Republican. And black men, it has basically remained around the same. So, as well. And again, most Republicans come out, after. But we gotta go by state. Okay? Let's go to Florida. This is a state that we all know is trend. Let's look at Hispanic in Florida here. Okay? So the Hispanic trend in Florida has trended 10 points for the Republicans. Yeah, and the total, around 10 points for the Republicans. So this photo proves that Florida is trending red. If people say Florida is a blue state, DeSantis is not gonna win. Well, this is the election. This is the results here, and the fact that DeSantis did really well among Cubans, because most of the people who are Hispanic in Florida are Cubans and Puerto Ricans. Those are, the two largest groups of Hispanics in Florida. There's also other groups of people in Florida as well. But the two big ones are Puerto Ricans, which they are from Puerto Rico, which is a part of America, and Cuba, which most of them fled the government. So, most of these people are voting Republican now. Not a majority in the early vote, but most of these people. And Florida, the Caucasian vote, which is the white vote, have trended against the Democrats in Florida. That means, DeSantis is expected to win the white vote in the state, which is to no one's surprise. Asians have trended 11 points towards DeSantis, and African Americans have stayed around the same percentage-wise for DeSantis. And of course, other and uncoded are trending towards DeSantis. So every racial group besides black people are trending towards the Republican Party. Asians out and Hispanics out. This spells very bad news for the Democrats, and this is of course in Florida, because Florida is one of the most important states for the Democrats to win. Okay? Let's look at Texas. Okay? Texas. The state that they, Texas, black people are trending Republican in Texas. They trended back to what it was in 2018. Asians have actually trended Democrat in Texas, but again, there was literally no early votes in Texas for Asians. So, white people have basically declined in terms of Republican support. And the early vote, as more and more Republicans ditch the early vote, because most of these people are ditching the early vote. Okay? And Hispanics have ditched the early vote as well. Which means us really in Texas, people are ditching the OA vote. That's basically what it is. Okay, mostly Democrats are now using the OA vote in Texas, as well. And now let's go to Pennsylvania. This is the state that, let's see. Among African Americans, Republicans have gained by 0.7% from last election. Asians, they have gained by 1.7%. Caucasian, which, again, mostly because Republicans do not turn out for, of course, OA votes. It's basically the same as last year, but way less people. And Hispanic has basically stayed exactly the same. Okay? And other uncoded has increased. And as we've shown, Biden did not win Pennsylvania because this is just Pennsylvania, it's not so. Biden did not win Pennsylvania by 50 points. Okay? Biden only won it by like 2. And if the turnout is 100,000 votes less to 150,000 votes less so far at this current time, because they're comparing it to last year, at the same time, this is really bad for Democrats. This is really bad. If you look at New York, here, still way less, and Republicans have gained by 4 points in OA votes. This is really bad, of course, and let's look at Florida here. Florida. The state that Democrats are saying that's trendy is not, they're trying to deny that, they're not doing that well. DeSantis is not going to win. Okay, here we go. Florida is in both examples, 6 points towards the Republicans. Okay, Democrats do not have a majority in OA votes in Florida anymore. They don't. And let's look at New York. Okay, let's look at New Mexico. Okay, New Mexico is actually the same as 2018 in terms of OA votes. Okay. Here. But again, if you compare turnout, it is not that good compared to 2020. It is not. It's like 2018 numbers. Yeah. So this is really, 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 really bad for Democrats. They're not turning out. That's basically the point. They're not turning out. Okay. And now let's look at New York. So New York. Here. New York as a state. Let's see how everybody is trending towards. Oh, we have the whole thing. Okay, so we're going to go from 2020 to 2022. So a majority of people are voting, and only vote are Caucasian. Yeah. But if you look at every race, African American has stagnated among Democrats. Asians are trending Republican again. Caucasian has trended Republican. Hispanic has trended Republican. And yeah, way less OA votes is really bad for Democrats. It's really bad for Democrats because Democrats are relying on OA votes now, as shown in 2020. And not many people are showing up with OA vote. Most of the people are going to look at the wars, they're going to look at inflation, they're going to look at the border, they're going to see the border crisis, the communities, see crime. Those are the issues that people are going to really see. Not abortion, that's not the one. Only, certain types of people are only going to vote based off abortion. The one issue candidates, okay? One issue people. Those are the only people. But most people are going to vote based off their inflation, based off everything else. And let's look at Illinois. Okay, Illinois. Here. Black people have trended Republican in Illinois in the OA vote. Here. Asians have trended 4 points towards the Republicans. Caucasians have actually declined to 6 points. Which, again, it's mostly because Trump supporters do not want to go and mail-in votes. And Hispanics have increased by 2% in Illinois. And let's remove demographics demographic here from Illinois. Okay. Here. Illinois, an early vote, not many people are really voting an early vote. That's the whole thing. Yeah. Massachusetts, they don't really have much of an early vote. They don't. But this is really bad for Democrats. That the early vote is always this bad. Because the mail-in votes, the Democrats have the biggest advantage. They have the biggest advantage in mail-in votes. And they're doing this badly with mail-in vote turnout. We're going to go by swing states. 2020, 1.4 million. Yes, the reason I was more charged because it was a presidential year. But this is not for good. Because it's compared at the same time last year. And they're already doing way worse in terms of early voting. Republicans are not turning out for early voting. And this is, and you can look at the poll. And let's go at civics. Okay, so civics, Biden has basically stayed around 52%, basically. Yeah, but if civics is correct, New York is going to flip, Minnesota is going to flip, Oregon's going to flip, and Colorado's going to flip. If every person who disapproves of Joe Biden theoretically, of course, votes Republican, again, this is very, very bad, of course. Very, 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 very bad for, yeah, and we have the Hispanic one, and they're still doing badly in Texas and Florida, 2 key states here, and they have done better in Arizona, but not really good, not really too good in Texas and Florida, the 2 states that people said, oh, Florida's gonna flip because, you know, of demographics. Florida's gonna flip because of demographics. This is only inedible in Florida. Even though Florida is becoming a Republican state. So, yeah. Florida's going to become a Republican state. Okay. Yeah, and we have to find, we can compare it to the final election. Yeah. And there are 19 days left. And this is comparing it to the final election. Final early mail. Okay, 2020 there was 3.2 million early mail-in votes. Compared to 519,000. We can do this in every state. Way lower in every state. Okay. Way lower in every state. In Washington, they don't even have any data. Virginia, way lower at the final mail-in votes. Texas, they don't even have data. But Texas at 2.42 million. Oh, that's Tennessee. That's not Texas. For example, Texas only has 80,000 mail-in votes. Texas only has 80,000 mail-in votes. Ohio, another important state, way lower. As people in these states stop trusting mail-in votes. Michigan, I'm not going to go over every state. Illinois. Even Illinois has way less mail-in votes already. Yeah. Here, Florida. Here, the final early mail. Yeah, and Florida's gonna, and I think the mail is done. Most of the mail-in votes are done. So mostly early voters, what's early voters, people who come in person, not mail-ins. Yeah, people who come in person, early voting is starting to come soon. Which is gonna see a trend in Republicans. So this is pretty bad for Democrats in Florida. Here, because we see a trend. Okay, and early votes for Florida against the Democrats. But, for example, California, this is pretty bad. 2-point swing against the Democrats. Arizona, which, yeah, no one is voting OA. No one is voting OA. And, oh, that's Alaska. Yeah, this is Arizona. Yeah, very, very bad for mail-in votes. Georgia, see the same thing here. We did Wisconsin, we did Pennsylvania as well. Way far down from 2020. So mail-in votes and absentee votes casted, there isn't much. Very bad news for Democrats because most Democrats vote by mail, which means Democrat turnout is very down. Of course, there are still many Democrats who come out on, of course, election day. But the fact that cast 7.2% of total votes casted. Okay. New York, it's 1.1%. Texas, it's 1% of the votes. Like, these are very bad numbers for Democrats. Very bad numbers for early votes. Florida is 10%. And this is for moderate party. We look at registered voters. It is mostly almost split. Yeah. But again, not many votes for the early voters. And of course, most of the people who are voting most of the people, it's like pretty actually split between evenly in some of these states. Yeah, I think Florida has the highest. And look at the age of people who know. It's mostly older people. I'm not too surprised. Not many young people in Florida. Again, Florida is mostly old people. Whereas I think I wouldn't be too surprised by this. Mostly old people live in Florida. But yeah, absentee mail-in votes, mostly older people use it. Not surprising because they have a harder time voting, so they just use the mail-in and absentee vote. Which is very strange because older people are tending to vote Democrats. Most of the people using the mail-in system now are older people now. It's older people. Younger people voted by mail in New York. Florida, it was all across the board. All people voted by mail. So it's mostly older people because younger people are not turning out. Those are older people who are voting by mail. You can see this trend across every state. It's absolutely, and 2018 was a blue wave year. Okay. But again, 2018, early voting was, not really a Democrat or Republican thing. People just did because out of convenience. Okay. Mostly older people did it out of convenience. Mostly older, more elderly people did it out of convenience. They did it out of convenience so they can, of course, vote easier. Because, of course, older people, they have, health problems, health issues. And they can't, not most old people can't really go out and vote. There's a lot of old people who can't really go out and vote, so they have to just mail it in. And it's much more easier to do it. It's much more easier for an older person to mail it in. Okay, but the problem is they made it for COVID, and now it's back to what it used to be. This is Wyoming's map, but if you look at all, yeah, here, congressional district. There's the statewide races here. Oregon. But yeah, Democrats are completely not doing that well with early votes. Both Democrats vote early. This is not very good for when the Republicans come out and vote as well. We also have some news that the RCP average for the Republicans, okay, this is for Joe Biden's approval rating. Here, we can go at the RCP average here. Democrats have been declining in votes. This is very, very bad for the Democrats, obviously, because they thought that, hey, we would win. For example, this is, of course, you know, the average for some of the key races here. Georgia, New Hampshire, and the Republicans in some of these races are surging. They're surging in the polls. Okay, they're surging. Here, here's the more recent polls here. The generic congressional vote here. Republican, this is the surge of Republicans. Decline of Democrats. Democrats are doing so well. Yeah. They're doing so well since, you know, around July. But now Republicans are surging again in the polls. Absolute disaster for the Democrats. Goodbye.